Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where after the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
Boy!
I am your host, Jimmy T. He is the best in the world, and my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams, and our third co-host, he is the magnanimous and the glorious, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz, and we are live on Hamir Media Group's YouTube channel, on the Twitch, and of course at patreon.com/Hamir Media Group after the fact. Fellas, what a wacky week it's been in professional wrestling, and you know what? Vet, I want to start with you. What the hell is going on in WWE with Cody becoming your new WWE champion, which I called was going to happen in the first place? But what I want to know is there any use for Elimination Chamber? What was the whole point of Elimination Chamber if Cody just gets a little backdoor entry into getting number one contendership and wins the title back anyway?
Well, yeah, I guess it was for the women then.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
But as far as the whole, Cody thing, I just want to say this is everyone's fault. Like, everyone's fault. Because what have we been hearing for the past several weeks, Professor Jimmy? What have we been hearing from all the people? The road to WrestleMania is just this is the worst build we've ever had. Everything is just so lame. Remember back in the day when, nobody remembers back in the day because nobody even, first of all, even saying the phrase road to WrestleMania means you're a brainwashed by the corporation monkey. You're a brainwashed monkey. Because that's a WWE marketing term. If you unironically use the phrase "road to WrestleMania," you're a fucking mark, and fuck you. Understand what I'm saying? I'm starting off hot. So they are tap dancing because you marks won't shut the fuck up because you're so entitled that you got to have some kind of big thing. Everything. So now what you got was a title switch on regular TV, which you got when Drew McIntyre won it, because they're just trying to hotshot, because they're listening to you. They're listening to the vocal minority of people that make up almost 0% of their business. Ain't none of you people complaining on Twitter are making them any money or giving them any money. You're pirating this shit for free and complaining that it's not entertaining enough. Okay? So that's what's going on here. The same people that's complaining about how expensive WWE 2K26 Deluxe editions are, or any other of those things. Like, these are these people that don't represent you. You couldn't buy a seat in WWE before they jacked up the prices. Now you want to complain about how the prices are too high for you to go when you didn't go when they were cheap. You didn't go when they were tarping off sections, but you want to complain about shit now. So here's what you got. You got Cody Rhodes winning the belt on SmackDown. Woohoo! We're back where we started. And what is this, Jimmy, about the most disliked video or something like that? Let's get into that.
Well, as the professor was telling us off the air, apparently Cody winning the WWE Championship is the most disliked video on the World Wide Web. Is that true, Prof? Is that the case?
As of right now, checking, those legit Twitter trolls, I see 105,000 dislikes so far after Friday's monumental win of Cody Rhodes becoming the 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. So, for the Haminites, the road to WrestleMania, I think this is the perfect example. The road to WrestleMania is not really about the stories. It's about us. Just the vet said, it's about us. It's about our happiness, our sadness, our dislikes, our likes. And I'll just say this because, for 105,000 and counting dislikes, let's remember this, and Haminites, whether you agree with this or not, it is what it is. The average person on social media, guys, has about multiple, and I'm going to be nice here, maybe 5 burner accounts. You know, the real one. Let's use Opinion Haver. Opinion Haver is a legit Twitter account, but maybe Vet has having opinions as a burner account, so this way he can go after some people. Maybe he have had opinions as a burner account. We don't know that. I'm just saying. Again, this is dirty.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm just saying. I'm just using him as an example.
Right.
Jimmy T has PWC Network, right?
Right.
As a Twitter handle, but maybe there's PWC Elite as a burner account.
Hey, I've got a burner account. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there are burner accounts out there. So what do, guys? Maybe you go on your burner account to put the dislike down. But that you are representing multiple people. That's not multiple opinions. You're one person making multiple dislikes. How can we assess that we really dislike something? I got burner accounts too. I got the Professor. I got Professor Elite. I got Professor Exclusive. So I'm gonna make opinions on other accounts. That's all I'm just saying.
And just quietly, J12, I don't mean to no-sell your tweets. It's just I get tagged by so much stuff, I might miss it, man. So I'm sorry if I have, dude. It's not intentional. But anywho, yes.
For the record, I have 0 burner accounts because I'm not a coward. But I also don't say nothing on social media. I just don't go at people. I only comment to people I know or interact with on a regular basis, like the Professor or Jimmy or anybody else or any of you lovely people here. You know, I'll go and talk to you guys, but I'm not going to go at strangers or just go out into the ether and put out a comment, right? But we do have other things like farms. We know we have farms. We have follower farms. We have view farms. You know, we have these things that people do to artificially inflate your numbers. You ever wonder how all these people pop up in your YouTube algorithm that you have no idea who they are or what their connection is to anybody, and yet they have 1 million times more followers? You ever wonder how you could hear about Self-Made Pro? Because you can buy exposure, right? And you could do that to dislike a Cody Rhodes video too if you want. So, and the fact of like, even just saying like 105 something thousand dislikes or whatever, how many people saw this? How many views did this thing have?
I did not count that one. Just give me 1 second. I'll just see. At the time I saw it was like 500,000 views when I saw that.
That's not as much as I actually thought. I would have expected it to be at least over 1 million.
But again, it just shows you maybe, again, multiple burner accounts will put the multiple dislikes or something like that. The engagement farmers Vet has so eloquently said. So again, is it truthful? But again, we see on social media, guys, and how many nights can concur with this, not only with YouTube, but like Instagram and TikTok. If you do a viral video, you're going to see the like button. You might see like, 1,000 likes on something with a comment. And so that's engagement farming. So, the more engagement farming, the algorithm just goes towards that. So again, how legit is the hate? We don't know. I'm not saying we won't know that, but again, Cody Rhodes being the champion, there's a reason for that, because he puts asses in seats, he gets the merch, he makes the money, and I remember years ago I had this kind of like conversation with Billy Ray Valentine. Shout out to him at the PW Hustle. But I remember, was it 2008 or 2009? What year did Jeff Hardy won the WWE title? Around that time. But again,
2008, 07, I think even.
But you get where I'm going with this. I'm just saying, like, when he had the belt, I think me and Billy Ray were just having this casual conversation, like, is he going to bring that belt into WrestleMania? I said no, because the people at the time, like the John Cena's, the Randy Ortons, the ones who play politics, will ultimately get the main event slot. And again, I'm not saying it's the right choice. I was just answering with Billy Ray. It's not really more debate. I just said those are the guys that Vince McMahon trusted to be in the main event picture. Those are the guys that Vince McMahon is comfortable with. And now, like, hindsight is 2020, guys. But Jeff Hardy, proved a point why he wasn't in the main event slot in WrestleMania, because behind the scenes, the drugs and shit like that. So Vince trusts people to be in the main event slot. Cody Rhodes has earned the main event slot. Now people say, well, what about Drew? Drew did well in the main event slot for WrestleMania during the pandemic ever. And let's not discount this. Will it become a triple threat? Will it still become a fatal four-way? I don't know. But at least you got two options. You got the fatal four-way for night one, which I don't think a lot of people will like. Or you got
angry at it.
No, I'm just saying, just in case for the dislikes, the dislikes are counting as I say this. You got the fatal four-way as an option, or you got two legit high-profile matches. You got Cody against Randy for the title, and maybe you got Drew against Jacob Fatu just to get that match for night one. So again, you got two options. We'll see where we go.
Well, Vet, I want to ask you this quick question. Is it possible WWE did all this, this hot shotting of the WWE Championship and whatnot, due to ticket sales even? And, they panicked and they just, they did an audible in some ways and quickly put the belt back on Cody because ticket sales are just not, ticketing. They're not selling tickets like they want to be. So could all that have something to do with it?
It could have something to do with their reasoning behind it, but as usual, their reasoning is wrong.
Yeah.
So for the artist saying I have stock in TKO, here's the part where I disprove that theory. It's just these guys they're slaves to their habits, their old habits. They still have certain people with this old school mentality, and we are living in a new school of business that almost ignores all of that. It's not like people are not going to WrestleMania because of who's holding the belt.
No.
That is how a mark would think, but it's also how a mark promoter would think. Right? That you could see how somebody that's, been in just too inside for too long does not understand that the real reason that ticket sales are down last year is because you are holding it in the same place twice in a row and the prices are higher now. That's why you haven't moved the tickets. They don't give a shit who the WWE champion is. Nobody does. You pretend you do, but you don't, because it doesn't mean anything. As soon as you say that, you will turn around and just talk about how the belt is a prop when it serves your argument in another way. So you're just going to say whatever's convenient to make your shitty take on the internet mean something, right? But the reality is the thing that's keeping people from going to WrestleMania is you did it. You're doing a rerun of last year. They don't, when was the last time they had it in the same spot twice in a row? Trump Plaza?
Yes, WrestleMania 4 and 5.
Right. How long has that been?
Well,
but there was a reason they did that.
Right.
That was, and that was early in WrestleMania's infancy. We didn't even know if there was going to be a 6th WrestleMania or things like that because it was still so new. It hadn't become like a mega tradition yet. But now everything is just all but guaranteed. So you're doing this. You screwed over New Orleans, right? Like, nah, sorry. You dangled the carrot, pulled it back. And now we get a double Las Vegas to satisfy everybody and their own personal business reasons of why they want to do that. But the fans don't give a shit why you want to do it. They only know is like when you come from all over the world and the country to go see WrestleMania, if you're saying, well, I went to Vegas last year, so I'll just chill at home this year. I'm sorry, that's good enough for some people. Yeah, some people are going to go every chance they get. There's some people that's going to be on the line trying to get tickets every single year for every single WrestleMania. And there's going to be people that's like, oh, it's in my backyard. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Or, the people all in between that are going for that. But it's very, very simple. Don't overlook the Occam's razor of this. You raise the prices and it's in the same place. That's it.
Well said. Prof, you agree?
Let's get our burner accounts going and say Akira Tozawa WWE champions. This way we get those ticket prices going and we get the sellouts. That's all we need. But I will say this on the business end. And Vet, you can retort if you want, but again, you just alluded that New Orleans got shafted with the WrestleMania.
Which they did.
They did. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, but Vegas paid more to WWE. So as much as we are going to say, well, they're having WrestleMania in the same location again. Let's remember the second time around, Vegas paid more for it. So already WWE's got it in their pockets. Now they just want, this is more of a profit issue right now, Jimmy.
Right,
That's what I'm trying to say.
exactly.
So they want they want to sell out, but they want more profits onto this. But let's not discount the fact that Vegas has already paid them double the money. The fiscal year of 2026 is booming for WWE, and they don't have the foresight because of the profit, islands of this, guys. Remember, Saudi Arabia already, Royal Rumble, they already got 100 or 200 million from them. You got Vegas, they already overpaid for WrestleMania. So their fiscal year for 2026 is there. And then we don't know what the wartime with Crown Jewel that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. That's another 100 million. So again, with WWE's foresight of the profit margins, eludes them from not making I guess, I don't want to say with Vet, the best marked hard business sense, having some entertaining matches, has some entertaining storylines. They just are losing focus on that because of the profit margins that they're getting, Jimmy. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying they're just getting blinded by the money so much that they forget to entertain the fans. And they're not entertaining the fans this year. I think we can all agree with that.
Oh,
do you have a retort for that, Jimmy? Or
no, you go first. I'll say what I have to say after that.
The things are mutually exclusive because the people that's sitting in that writer's room that we see on Unreal are not making the business decisions with the cities. So we're talking about two different people with two different jobs, and one of them's not doing their job regardless of the other one. Now, as far as the city of Las Vegas or whatever, that's great. If Las Vegas is going to pay more, that's great. But then you also have to realize you may lose some of that from those marks that don't want to buy the tickets. So if that is worth it to you, if the marks ticket sales are going to be offset by the bonuses that Las Vegas gives you, that's a thing I'm not privy to. So I'm not your accountant and I don't know how much you're making, but I do know you are not going to sell as many tickets in Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium as you would have in New Orleans. You would have sold more tickets in New Orleans. So if you wanted to make a profit, that was up to you how to make the profit in New Orleans. And if you just wanted to take a shortcut for whatever tax purposes or whatever that you want to do, that's up to you. And now you have lower ticket sales. So if that's, like I said, if the math adds up for you that way, then it was the right move, but the whole thing is you're the promoters, you're the business, you go to the city and you make your demands and they decide if they want to pay it up. So if you can't get the people in these cities to pay you what you want or make the deal good for you, that's your fault as a promoter for not being able to promote. Bottom line.
Facts. And you know what? It's bad for business too, man. Doing what they did with New Orleans and then going back to Vegas.
And New Orleans has had a great relationship with WWE. I'm sorry, Jimmy. They've had multiple WrestleManias within like a 6-year span. And people are like, why does New Orleans keep getting this shit too much? There were people who complain like that too. Again, those are marked cards, Jimmy. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. No, look, certain cities are just continuously bidding for WWE shows all the time. Just like for us down here, Perth keep shafting everyone else. You know what I mean? For example, because they're willing to pay, and now they've gotten a great relationship. And it seems the same with Vegas, with now Saudi Arabia. I'm just not worried, but come next year, I think we're gonna have a real. I don't know. I don't see the future in WWE that bright, especially next year with Saudi Arabia having WrestleMania and all that. It's just going to be whack for me. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong.
But again, it's going to be whack. But what did I say a couple of minutes ago? The profit margins, the lack of
focus. That's what matters.
They already got paid about that. But if what is, I don't want to go into the political part. If what they're saying is a little bit true, that they're going to divest away from American sponsorships and investments. That was an investment right there. That doesn't mean we don't know what that's going to happen next year, and we don't know what's going on right now. So again, a lot of things are up in the air right now.
Sure are, and that's a good segue, especially with what Vet was saying just before that. Because speaking of the writing team, also Vet, as you were bringing up, well, apparently Road Dogg has quit.
You didn't know?
Oh, well, I do know now, and I can't call that somebody anymore, it seems, to do me a favor in WWE. So what the hell is going on with Road Dogg? Because I feel like that he's been a scapegoat for a lot of things in the past, and he's just taking it on. Like a lot of people would blame Road Dogg for SmackDown.
Jimmy, well, hold on. Is he being the scapegoat, or was that a great representation of the idiocy that he was doing?
I don't know.
Editing.
Was he at fault for that? I mean,
again, it could be the editing, but the way he was presented in season 2 was like, why the hell does he have this job? What the hell?
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's like
that's
a really good example, right?
Creative licensing is one thing, and I'm not trying to dispute or discount like Road Dogg's contributions to the business. Again, let me just say this. Again, WWE is as petty as they can be, and they can edit him to make him look like a dummy. But that's what the marketeers saw. So you're like, wait, and people are saying this is what is co-leading the SmackDown side, and a lot of people were complaining about the writing and the direction of SmackDown for the past couple of months. And when Unreal came out, it was like, that's the reason. That is the guy. He's the you're right. The right word you said, Jimmy. That's the scapegoat. And what happened? He had to quit. Now the funny thing is, I hope that we get like Jesse James is All Elite within the next couple of maybe next week, maybe Revolution. We can get a signing right there. Certainly, somebody needs a little bit of take the reins of the creative away from Tony Khan.
Can we get the roadie again?
Let's go, Jesse James for All Elite creative. Come on, Vet. I know you want this. You want this. Don't put that.
Yeah, and he can start singing to Jeff Jarrett again. He's with his baby tonight, right? Right, Van?
Yes. He spends his days working hard on the go, Jimmy.
He's a roadie, man.
So I don't really know that much details of this situation, because not only did I not see anything on social media or read any articles about it, I also didn't watch Unreal. So I don't know what all, I just know that one clip I saw of him trying to speak up for Chelsea Green.
Right.
And I was like, didn't they, I know you can edit it any way that you want, like the professor said. And I know that stuff is heavily edited. And I know this whole thing has got ulterior motives, some of which we're probably not even aware of, that this even exists. But all that being said, I saw what on the screen that I saw. The unedited parts where it was just him talking, like with no cuts or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm sorry, haven't people been telling me for like 30 years that this guy's one of the best promos ever in the business? You can't even talk your way into a good reason to push Chelsea Green? Are you fucking kidding me? Bro, I would eat Road Dogg alive on a live show. If he was ever to come on here and face to face with me, I would fucking bury him easily. This man is the exact kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This old wrestling trash, this fucking old Armstrong family wrestling garbage that just doesn't, like, you cannot apply this like to everything across the board anymore. You have to, he's got a brilliant mind full of knowledge, and he can't even articulate it to the point that he can get people he's known for years to agree with him. How could you end up in this position as a scapegoat after all the history you have with this company and these people? He must be so incompetent that there's no other choice. That's the only conclusion I can come to based on this. And I'm sure he's a hell of a nice guy, and I respect everything he's done and his family and everything like that. But I'm just saying, like, if you can't even advocate for the people in your job in a proper way, that to the point where you feel like you have to quit because you're not getting listened to,
right?
And I'm just like, well, I guess you're not the promo we all thought you were. Then I guess you were just repeating the same catchphrase every single week. It's me, the D to the O to the double G, like whatever. Like, yeah, heard it. What else you got?
He likes the doggy style too, just quietly, Vet.
Yeah.
Vet, I'll just give you a little bit more tidbits logistically why he said he quit, or he just walked away,
right?
Because he said after his WWE performance review was not very positive. So
really,
that's what it could be a dirty thing, Vet. I'm just saying that's the dirty cheat.
I'm not going to let you fire me. I'm quitting.
Yeah, that's what it is. It was a performance review. He wasn't happy with what they said, and then it was kind of like that was the straw that broke the camel's back of that. So take it with a grain of salt, vet. But again, I just want to give you that kind of logistics what I saw in the dirty sheets.
Hey, yeah, and furthermore, like, didn't Road Dogg get fired a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he was just out there doing what, Sportskeeda or something? Didn't Vince Russo get him a job? And then he went right back.
He did,
you know?
Yeah, right.
Kind of seems like if you touch Vince Russo, the WWE hires you. You notice that? Any JCW champions they recently brought back to also to SmackDown for some strange reason out of nowhere
to get buried, I guess. I mean, shit. No, you're right. There is something up with that. But yeah, look, Road Dogg, he does have a bit of a sketchy history when it comes to creative, it seems, with WWE, even though he claims that he's not being heard, like, basically. And like you said, Vet, if he can't articulate, his own things to people that he's known forever, pretty much, then it's not them that's the issue. It's clearly him. So, I don't know.
Also, but also, in fairness, I really feel like people are forgetting a lot of the times. Again, not taking any blame off of him necessarily, but there's a bigger issue at large where you've got TKO doing this to everybody,
right?
Just putting the thumb on him, So we got scapegoats like Triple H, whether Triple H is voluntarily taking these arrows, for everybody, or whether that's just the way it ends up, where he's out here doing all this stuff and always being like the face of the promotion and being an ambassador and all these things, right, because he's like, I'll take all the heat for all this stuff, because this is the best I can do. TKO's calling the shots. I can't set the ticket prices, right. So he's trying to do what he can. And, it's like, if Road Dogg is on another clearance level than Triple H. So if Triple H is not hearing Road Dogg, that could not be Triple H's decision on certain things, right? Like, he could be put in this position, but he also can't just tell him, he can't pull him aside, or doesn't want to pull him aside and say, look, this is why we can't do this, and I'm sorry, or maybe it's just a big mess over there and nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
There's that too.
But we can't completely leave out, we have to keep the separation of TKO and WWE clear in our minds when we talk about these things, because they make it sound like, everybody makes it sound like it's like Triple H does everything in this thing.
I hate that.
Which he doesn't.
Right. And he doesn't. And he probably does take a lot of those missiles literally on purpose, because he's really the scapegoat for the top end of TKO, if you know what I mean. And then Road Dogg would be more the scapegoat, say, to Triple H. So, like, I'm just going by the pecking order here, right? So, look, it is what it is.
So that I'm sorry, Jimmy. I just say
go for it.
Who could be a great replacement for to be a stooge for Triple H, just to make sure? Kevin Nash, he's got a podcast. So has he worked with Vince Russo? I'm just saying,
he's been stooging.
Yes, they're very friendly.
So
yeah,
it's apropos. Have Kevin Nash in the writing room for SmackDown. I mean, I'm not saying make him head writer, but he's written before. Finger poker doing.
I mean, imagine Cody doing the finger poker to me, if only.
What's old is new again, Jimmy. What's old is new again. We always recycle things that worked.
Absolutely. It always comes back. We do go full circle. But that was an interesting little discussion, though, boys, because we can go back and forth all day on that. But speaking of and staying with WWE and TKO, I guess, it seems like Nick Khan, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon are playing cover-up in WWE, because apparently a lot of leaked stuff came out, or they already had this in the canon to just literally launch at. Apparently they've been hiding a lot of Vince's evidence and trying to, sweep it under the carpet. What's the worst that can happen at this point, Vet? Like, what does it mean for Triple H, Nick Khan, and Stephanie McMahon? Can they lose their jobs in WWE? Or really this is going to go nowhere and who cares, even if they were trying to hide evidence of Vince's doing?
I really don't. Not only do I not have an answer, I almost don't even want to comment at all, because I really don't know again, the full situation of this.
Right. And neither do I, to be
I've
honest.
heard the word redacted a few times.
Redacted. Right.
Which is, these days, what documents don't come with a little bit of redaction, What good is even a document without a little redaction here?
Right, exactly. I mean, just do it for you and see how many redactions you get.
But again, in a way, much like we were talking about with the Janelle Grant thing, this is actually old news that is only resurfacing because slightly new developments of like, okay, now the courts are finally moving on stuff, so it becomes headlines again.
Right.
But when we first heard about this, we heard about them, trying to get it. What I thought was interesting about this one was that it's Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics that's like filing motions or whatever to unredact the redacted parts of these things because he feels it should be public information. I just thought he was content to report the Nielsen ratings. I didn't know he was going to get this deep into it like that. Like actually get down in the trenches with it. So good for him, I guess. But that is like...
But Vet, I'm sorry to interrupt. Does he want the truth or does he have his own agenda? Because sometimes when people say that, it's a little bit like, what is your end goal for yourself? Again, that's clickbait for him. That's clickbait for WrestleNomics. So again, is it genuine? I'm not trying to defend WWE for this. I'm just saying, like, what is the overall goal for him?
Do you have to separate them? Can your agenda be the truth? Knowing that it's going to benefit you to tell the truth or to make it seem like you were a crusader for the truth. I mean, I don't know if anybody would want to take up that cause if they didn't want to know the truth. I don't think he would be sitting there saying, I don't care what it is, but it'll get me over. I think he does. I think it's just a situation that he saw as an opportunity. So, you can be right for selfish reasons. Doesn't matter one way or the other. The end justifies the means. So I don't know, but, most of what it sounds like it has to do with is the other potential buyers that could come out and like what they were willing to offer, when they did this shady deal. And we knew, like, even if you had any instinct whatsoever as a human being, you knew that whatever was going on with this sale to TKO was shady in the first place. I mean, WWE's been shady. Of course, they're carnies. They were shady before they went public. They're shady after they went public. They're shady selling the company. There's shady reasons about why sell the company and to who and whatever. So we all know it's shady. This is just crossing the T's and dotting the I's about the shadiness of it. So, I don't know. But to your question, Jimmy, as far as like who it's going to affect, I have no idea. I don't. But I feel like they would have they would be able to craft some plausible deniability if they had to. And also, and this is my personal belief, based on, my reading of all the evidence, is that part of the reason that Vince had to go was orchestrated by Triple H, Stephanie, several others.
That's 100%. We spoke about it back then, right?
Yeah, so like, I feel like even the reason that we have some of these things coming to light, about the NDAs, Janelle Grant, all this stuff is probably because of them also. Like they're like the silent whistleblowers kind of thing.
And they were the ones that leaked it, but it backfired a little bit, I think, on them in doing so. But
maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe they thought it was worth it.
Right. Well, it did it work? I guess to an extent, but here they are.
They look like they're living the dream. She's got Steph's places, and he's running the creative, so everything's good for now.
Yeah, but ultimately they wanted to own the company. I think the McMahon kids and Triple H particularly, and really Vince done that out of spite, dude. In my opinion, anyway.
Sure,
but it is what it is. Prof, what's your take on that, man?
Just a PSA for everybody. don't redact. Shred your documents.
Shred
We won't
it.
have this problem. Shred them twice, 3 times over. So this way, a lot of people don't have patience. You remember that? Remember Batman Returns where Danny DeVito as the Penguin said,
A little tape and a lot of patience.
just shred them documents 3, 4, 5 times. You don't need to redact. That's all I'm just saying. Not a lot of people have patience right now.
Yeah, no, you're right. But it does happen, unfortunately, the redactions, man. Especially when you do a freedom of what's it called? I just went blank. The FOIA, man. What does it stand for again? Freedom of Information Act. That's what I was meant to say. There you go. If you do that, a lot of people do get redactions even with those when really you shouldn't be. If they're giving you those documents, there shouldn't be any redactions. But unfortunately, if they don't want you to know something, they're gonna redact. So it is what it is. In other news though, man, fellas, Conan reportedly hospitalized and unfortunately for him, his leg got amputated over medical complications. And from the last thing I heard, he still in trouble, man, that he could get even more of his leg amputated. And for me, all of us here at HMG, and I spoke about this with Brandon yesterday on Insanity, where we talk about JCW. But our prayers go out to Conan, man. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. He's gone through hell, guys, over the years. Kidney issues, heart issues, liver issues. I'm assuming he's got diabetes too because of the amputation. I'm assuming that has a lot to do with it, even though they're not telling us that, but it just comes across that way. But man, he's a machine, and somehow he keeps on, going. I just hope he pulls out of this one, man. I don't know how serious he is. I don't know if he's awake and whatnot. But yeah, that sucks, man. So hopefully he snaps out of it really fast. Boys, anything to say about that?
You said it all, Jimmy. Prayers to Conan. Just hopefully a speedy recovery. Again, it's going to be an arduous journey for him to try to get as best as he can.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And like I was saying, he's unfortunately been going through all sorts of health issues over the years. But
now,
I'm sure,
as of a few hours ago, I could only confirm this through a bunch of Mark websites.
Okay.
Like no real news outlets were reporting this when I was looking for it. So I'm just hoping this is one of the other many things they're wrong about. And I would love to get a confirmation, like, what are you talking about? Conan's doing, he did not have his leg amputated. I keep hoping for that.
Right.
But,
that seems true though, man. Unfortunately, like it is what it is. But, you're right. I mean, even a lot of the, the Mark friggin' dirty sheets are not reporting certain things, which is true. But I saw someone post, I think that was close to him. I can't remember who it was, but someone posted, I think, on Facebook in a group saying, yes, it's true that he is in the hospital. He did get his leg amputated. And, hopefully he snaps out of it, like I said, and I'm sure he will. But, yeah, just all our prayers go to Conan. That's for sure, from all of us here at Hummy Media Group, and everyone in the chat, I'm sure, is, also praying for Conan for a speedy recovery. Now, in other news, I guess we can go to AEW news. Kevin Knight re-signs with AEW. Prof, is that a good get, for him to re-sign with AEW? Do you see a future in Kevin Trick Willie Knight?
Again, Mark business, probably Triple H just, damn, it could have been perfect for NXT. But you know what? They got Leon Slater. So hold on to Leon Slater. Make sure he does everything he needs to do in TNA, and then bring him to NXT, and then bring him to the main roster. Oh, wait, you got Javon Evans. So he already got like 2 of them right now. So again, Kevin Knight is in the best situation that he needs to be. And we'll talk about what he did, this past week on AEW with the eloquent review of the shows. But, if he becomes Kevin Willie, fine. But, you invest in the future. That's cool. I'm not discounting what Kevin Knight, athletically is. But he still has to group, he has to work on his character, charisma, and all that stuff. Because again, you could take from Trick Willie all you want, Jimmy. But again, I need something that's more his own. Wearing the Rock shirts and maybe chains and shit like that. They're like, okay, you're reminding me of somebody. I don't say what you will, but Mike Bailey, non-binary Mike Bailey, is more original than Kevin Willie. That's the truth. So, but again, the athleticism is there. The potential is there. Let's see where we go with this.
Yeah, we'll see.
The professor's right. The guy that's a pastiche of the 80s white guy karate movies and stuff like that is still more original than Kevin Knight. So
good point. Well, I know what you guys will love to hear, what I'm about to tell you guys. But Mr. Big Boom AJ says he'll be wrestling at Revolution 2026.
oh,
Yes.
thank God.
Yes. I'm looking forward to. Why does he always get a pay-per-view spot? Even if it's on freaking the pre-show, why the fuck does he even get a spot? I will never understand.
More importantly, why aren't the sickos saying you're taking a spot away from your from the deep roster that you got?
Exactly.
You're wasting 15 minutes of pre-show time on an AJ Boom, storyline against the only person that he can really wrestle is Rocky Romero all the time. I guess that's the rivalry. Who cares? You got a deep roster. You got ROH roster. Use them for the pre-show. AJ, I understand. Well, again, I won't be a hypocrite, vet. You know this. I won't. AJ Boom has the Twitter followers, the TikTok followers. Of course, he's a social media brand. Use him. But Tony Khan is fumbling social media brand of AJ Boom. This is not the way to use him. I'm just saying. It's a waste. It's a pre-show. He's not doing anything constructive. At least on the other side, Logan Paul is being used constructively. At least on the other side, when he was with his head on straight, Travis Scott was used last year, but he fucked up a storyline. At least on the other side, Jelly Roll was used constructively. That's how you use your social media brand representation. AJ Boom, people are like, wait a minute, is he all elite? Just wrestle, goddammit. He's just wasting a spot for a deep roster. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Yeah, what do you want me to say? I can't. I mean, I don't know what the benefit is. So, I can't say that. You can't say that he's responsible for any more pay-per-view buys because he's never been on the actual pay-per-view, and all these people that Professor named or whatever, like, I don't know what real eyeballs they bring, because most of their fans don't care to see them do a bunch of wrestling stuff if they didn't already like wrestling. No one's going to sit there and watch all your favorite entertainers. You don't follow every little exact thing that they do if they're doing a bunch of stuff that you hate. So, and I also think that these people that you named are all psyops as well. Would call them psyops, like, who really likes any of these people? I'm told that this guy has all this social media following. I could go outside and talk to every person that I see in a 24-hour period. Nobody would know who the fuck this guy is. I guarantee you. So to me, he's just be another one of those people that got a farm to up his engagement or whatever to make us think that he's somebody. I don't think anybody on planet Earth knows who the fuck this guy is, but we keep having to see him and his fat kids. So it's not going to be any different now.
And he always goes over, man. Does he even lose a match? I don't think he actually has. I could be wrong, but still, I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. Screw him and his kids. Prof, boom, boom. That's all I'm saying.
Just give me the chocolate chip cookies and that's it. Other than that, make elite cookies. I don't need them in the ring.
I never needed a guy to convince me to eat cookies.
That's true.
I can eat cookies very well on my own, thank you.
You don't want a Darby Allin chunky chocolate chip cookie, bet?
I don't want one suggested by him.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be bad. That'd be a real bad idea, actually, for sure.
that cookie got thrown down the stairs.
Yeah. The cookie could have got fucking thrown down the stairs too, for
Yeah,
and then he passed it to you too. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into some sifting, shall we, and put our gloves on, because there's plenty of debris to sift through, guys. Especially on Dynamite, in my opinion.
Are we here now? Okay. Let's pull up the notes for the wreckage. It is Dynamite. It's Dynamite.
Oh, can I ask?
You know what that means?
We know what that means, but what I didn't want to mean Did we get on a big overrun? Because my feed went for over 2 hours, like 2.5 hours, man.
I guess so. I didn't really keep track because a lot of times I'll watch these shows in pieces.
Right.
You know, like I'll watch a chunk here and then finish it later. Not to be confused with the chunks of chocolate chips that are in these Costco cookies that got thrown down the stairs. But
Jimmy, with all intents and purposes, that Wednesday I was at a basketball game, so I didn't watch it live.
I saw you post that actually. Well, for me, it went for 2.5 hours. Damn it.
Yeah. And Kevin Mari, we are so glad that you watch the Wreckage. That's all you need. We will give you everything you need. You don't need to watch 1 second of AEW unless I or the professor or Jimmy tell you, go back and watch this one thing, because God forbid you sit there and watch it through. Don't do that. We'll give you a little highlight if necessary.
Big if.
Huge if. But we're starting out this one with something that we've already seen, because it's a package on the whole Page, MJF, Kevin Knight situation, which has led us to this match. We're starting out with an AEW World Championship match between Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the champion, defending against the young upstart, Mr. Jet to Fly himself, Kevin the Jet Knight, recently re-signed to AEW for an undisclosed amount of years and an undisclosed amount of money. Good job reporting, all you dirt sheet marks. But
there's his reward.
Yes. And guess what? As much as I wanted to care about this, I could not bring myself to care. So because you already know what's going to happen.
Of course.
You have been given the outcome before the match was even fully, like, officially booked. Before Tony Khan.
I'm sorry to bother you, but can we acknowledge the logic gap problem I have here?
Oh, big logic gap.
The one logic gap problem I have, even if you want to talk about spots in this, is that Kevin Trick Willie got a title shot. Right. Everybody else preceding this would get eliminator shots. Even Brody King got an eliminator shot. He had to earn a title shot. What did Kevin Knight, maybe this, Jimmy, you just announced Kevin Knight re-signed with AEW. Maybe this was part of the deal and he believed it. Like, wait a minute, I got a title shot. Woo! I'm gonna re-sign with AEW. I got a title shot. I don't need money. I just need a prop title shot. Not just saying, but everybody preceding this got eliminator shots. John Moxley is throwing eliminator shots weekly for his content on his show. But Kevin Willie got a title shot. Vet, who did he beat? I missed it. Who did he beat on Collision?
He beat himself. That's what.
Well, I don't want to see that. You can watch that. I don't need to see that part.
Well, I mean, he beat everybody. I mean, you remember he went on a tear in the Continental Classic. He beat Okada. He beat Fletcher. You know, he could pretty much beat anybody. As he proved on any given night, he could beat anybody. But that was kind of his point. And I guess MJF was just kind enough to let him skip the line.
Gotcha.
Rare moment of kindness for MJF.
Gotcha.
Not just kind enough, but
Hebrew
gave
kindness.
him way too much. How long did this damn match go for, man? This drained my life. It shouldn't have been that close, in my opinion. You know, it just shouldn't be. I get it. Kevin Knight is great. He's great talent. No doubt about it. But we're talking about MJF, your world champion, going up against a tag team wrestler. And not even a main event one at that.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's one of those things, I guess. I understand I can understand the philosophies of doing this. If MJF fancies himself one of those, like, NWA, and Professor, you can speak to this, the NWA era champions that would, like, it was their job to go into the territory and make the hometown hero look like he was really going to do it. Ric Flair didn't have to go 60 with everybody, but damn it, he did. That kind of a thing. I could see MJF feeling like, you know.
Not just that, he got rewarded twice, Prof, before you continue on. Because you'll be seeing later on, too.
Yeah, just to expound on that, Jimmy, just don't forget with the NWA Ric Flair days, who did he defend the title against? Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express.
True.
I can say the same, but at least he earned that title shot. He beat Ric Flair in a non-title capacity to get his title.
Like they love doing in AEW.
They didn't call it that. That's the thing.
Right,
There's just a little bit of difference. But another question that you was asking, but we have to find out with jet speed or horsecock, whatever they're calling themselves, who is Shawn Michaels and who is Marty Jannetty. That's the consensus. So the consensus says Kevin Knight might be the Shawn Michaels because he's looking like Trick Willie, and Mike Bailey's gonna be the Marty Jannetty. But like I said, non-binary Mike Bailey is more original than Kevin Willie. Go ahead, Bet. I'm sorry.
Actually, is funny enough.
Well, anyway, he hits the heat seeker on Kevin, and that's a wrap. But before he can be a sore winner and keep the Jet grounded for even longer, Page's speedball came out and put a stop to all that and ran him off. So,
and then they took off back into the sky again.
Yep. So that happened, and then we get a nice tag team match playa. Orange Darby versus Clark and Gabe. And this time, yeah. See, now I've been seeing what you were saying about Gabe Kidd coming out on all fours. This the nicest way I can say this is to directly look into the camera and tell Gabe Kidd, this does not look like what you think it looks like in your mind. So stop doing it. Don't rim shot. Don't ever rim shot me, Jimmy. Don't ever rim shot me. Rim shots are for bad jokes.
Oh, no, that was a good joke there. But yeah, he always does that to me.
It's not even a joke. It's a public service. I'm performing for Gabe Kidd. Do not come out here crawling around thinking you look cool.
Why?
He wouldn't look any less cool if he actually lifted his leg and pissed on the entrance ramp. He couldn't look any less cool doing that. It would look the exact same. So you might as well just stop all this.
Why can't I picture him doing that? That's what's even more crazy.
Because when you see him do that, you think it's about to happen for a second, probably.
Here's another to expound on the PSA from Vet, Hamidites. For the Reflection Night, the Pro Wrestling Reflection, shameless plug. But the Junkyard Dog did it and made it cool. Yeah, Kid's not making it cool. That's the thing. It looks different. It looks like a schnauzer. Junkyard Dog was a Junkyard Dog doing it. He intimidated you doing what he was doing on all fours. Gabe Kidd looks like, I don't want to say the word, I don't want to get canceled out here. But again, it's just not a good look. That's all it is. It's not cool, Gabe. It's not cool.
Plus, don't we have one too many dogs? Sorry, Vet. Already in wrestling?
There's always too many dogs. Did Junkyard Dog do that on the entrance though?
No.
That I don't remember. I remember him getting down in the ring and headbutting guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember him coming out.
It was cooler.
Yeah, I remember him coming out and doing his cool walk to the ring and everything. But
another one bites
this anyway. So rightly so, as this idiot is doing this thing, the baby faces jump him, and I loved it. I was like, yes, cut this shit off.
I can't stand either one of these two guys straight up, Vet.
You're talking about the dogs now.
The dogs, yeah. The war dogs. They're just the dogs.
Well, don't worry, because after fuck whatever they did in the match, I don't care.
Yeah, who cares?
Orange punch to Connors, 1, 2, 3. Then we get a third dog. We get a new dog. We're adopting a new dog from the shelter.
All the way from Ireland, but it's actually born in the US. But still, he had a shillelagh.
Yeah. We're getting the slightly less disappointing Finley son.
Very slightly.
Only slightly.
Very slightly.
Yeah, this is this big debut, which is not big at all. Doesn't feel big. I'm sorry, right? Like, no. I'm not being an asshole. This definitely did not feel big, right?
You felt that it was big?
No, I'm saying it did not feel big, right? I'm correct, right?
Right, absolutely.
The discourse on Twitter, Vet, goes with what you're saying, because people's like, I could hear a pin drop. I heard a little bit of noise. And
I heard no pop at all. Really.
No, I'm not saying it was a pop. I'm just saying, but it wasn't like it was total silence. I'm just saying, but the discourse on Twitter is like, and he came out to nothing, no energy, no nothing. Like, who the hell was this guy? And they're like, should have went to WWE and became that legacy on NXT or whatever that came, or the Lexus King group or whatever. That's not even a win there. At least he's rehashing something that didn't work in New Japan. At least he's a Bullet Club guy. At least you can do that. Whatever. But I didn't care either. I was like, and forgive me, but he looks smaller than I remember him on New Japan. Is that ring small, Ben? I don't know. Is the New Japan ring small? He looked a little bit bigger, but he just looked smaller. And he was trying to recreate the NXT Black and Gold like debut of Adam Cole, baby, at the Barclays Center. And I was like, you're wearing Adam Cole's gear. I'm like, nah.
Actually, you're right. It's true. Yeah.
It was a super kick, but he used the shillelagh. He was trying to, the pomp and circumstance. And again, it was the discourse. Bet you're right. It was not as positive as Tony Khan hoped for it. But again, I was like, damn, he looks smaller. Is that a Chihuahua?
I mean, I feel it was given the appropriate amount of pomp and circumstance that it deserved, and the fact that he came out with no music to no reaction. He just did a run-in, because if you had hit music and had him come out and do like a full entrance on his way to the ring or something, then he really would have gotten, we really would have gotten to see how over he isn't. So maybe it was smarter to do it this way. Because you're never going to get people to care about this man. I've been saying that for the better part of a decade now. You will never. But yeah, there you go.
Sure
even as much as
you said never 3 times. I was like, never. Never.
Yeah. And I don't care how much, I don't care how much Excalibur tries to give you his entire life story inside of like 2 sentences or whatever. It's never going to work. But
before you move on, Kevin Murray says, so AEW went from Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, Ricky Starks, Mariah May, Ethan, and Danhausen to 3 dogs.
Yeah, you got it. See, I told you didn't need to watch the show.
Woof woof is all you need to know, Kev.
Renee's with Bandito and Andrade.
Yeah.
And Andrade was going to, take a selfie with Bandito, because he's obviously a big fan. So he was going to take a photo with his fan, and then he got a phone call and had to excuse himself. So Bandito's going to have to wait for that selfie. He's going to have to wait for that photo op for later.
Well, first of all, I was shocked. I never heard Bandito talk before. That was the first time for me.
What are you talking about? He's had vignettes where he was talking about his grandmother.
Yeah, remember that?
Whatever. Like, okay.
I know. The time difference, you sleep through things.
I saw that. I actually saw that vignette when he's on the horse and shit too. Like,
who's describing his grandmother but Bandito, Jimmy? It wasn't
his grandmother's not a horse.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Anyway.
All right. Well,
into that.
He talked. And also, like last week, remember, he said, I want to fight too. When Brody King was out there. So. But here's some people that, I thought it was going to be a fight because you had the Brawling Birds versus the Inspiration. And there was nothing inspiring about this squash match. Holy shit. You want to talk about no respect whatsoever.
No respect, dude. None. Is that what they're there for? It's just to have no respect so everyone can just literally spit on them?
I guess.
I mean, shit. If that's inspiring, I don't know what is.
Yeah, like you look at to the point that Kevin is making about what the WWE's done with the AEW cast-offs, so to speak. And then you turn around and look at this, it's like, well, you're gifted this act, and you're trying to use them to You're putting them in the Viva Van and Becca spot? Really?
But really? They're all elite. They're all elite, though. It's official. That's what I'm saying.
This is a good example of how everybody in the company is not actually elite. It should be called some elite wrestling.
Some elite wrestling.
Because damn it, this ain't it. It's you don't have the Inspiration on your roster to wrestle. That's not why you would hire them. So this was kind of, it was telling in some way.
This was the wrong match, guys, in my humble opinion. It shouldn't have been the Birds against Inspiration. It should have been the Inspiration against Viva Van and Becca, whatever that
exactly spot on. It should have been him, yeah.
Because the Inspiration is the perfect tag team for a division that needs a ladies tag team division. They're a known name, they're a known gimmick, they are former tag team champions 2 brands over, so their resume is stocked for what Tony Khan needs to get this division over, and yet Tony Khan decides to use them in the squash capacity as the Viva Van and Becca thing, as so eloquently said. Now, can the Inspiration guys be impervious to this squash? Maybe Tony Khan is thinking in this light, and I'm not defending Tony Khan because I agree with y'all. It's kind of like, why did you sign up for this purpose? Because again, Tony Khan booked the wrong presentation for the Inspiration. But is Tony Khan thinking, well, their gimmick and their act and their comedy will probably dissuade people will think that this is a squash match? But Twitter doesn't, check the tweets, guys. They were like, what the hell? You brought them there. They were TNA Knockout Tag Team Champions just to get squashed by the Brawling Birds. So what are you doing, guys? This is a perfect thing. Jimmy, go ahead, say the line. What are we doing here?
You're the one that's taking over now, Prof. You want to say it. You're the one that's been saying it every week now. But where are we going with them? Really? Nowhere. We're going nowhere. They're staying home.
Yay!
I'm just saying, what do you think about this? Again, maybe Tony Khan is thinking that their character and the comedy that they do will probably dissuade people from thinking that they're jobbers or not, or whatever.
Well, that's not how they're portraying him. They're portraying him exactly that, jobbers.
Yeah, and
I'm just trying to say
from
the standpoint of what Tony Khan is trying to think. I mean, it's a bad thought process, but maybe he's thinking that that their comedy will dissuade that. That's all I'm just thinking.
Well, you got to let him do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't have him do it. That's the thing. Like, if I was to have a match like this, I would have the Inspiration come out, grab the microphones, do 2 minutes of heel comedy work on the crowd and the Brawling Birds. Then the Brawling Birds come out. Then if you squash them like that, then that's good, because now the fans have been built up to want to see somebody punch them in the mouth. And then they can always just say, we weren't ready. Whatever, the classic. It's just, it's that easy, but you get the same, you're going to the same place. You're taking the same amount of TV time. You're using the same people. But that's how you do the exact same thing, except way better.
Right. Okay. But they just don't seem to get it, unfortunately for them. And unfortunately for the Inspiration, I don't know, just Tony's going to get bored of him eventually, very soon, shall we say. And then
seems like he's already bored. Jimmy,
right, that's what I mean.
I just have one question for you, okay?
What's
Look,
that?
They're Australian, but
I know.
Even you have to say that this is not fair to them.
I've never been the biggest fan of them, right? But I'm sort of digging them more as the Inspiration compared to the Iconics, because I felt like they overdone their character a bit too much. Whereas I think they're more realistic.
Overdone, Jimmy. It's the same thing. It's just two different names.
It's a little bit more toned down, just a little bit. Like in WWE, they overused all that WWE, all that Australian ochre, like we call it, terms of being typical Australians, Whereas here, they're still doing that, but they're not overly throwing it in your face all the time. So I can be cool with shit like that. The thing is, they had British women against Aussie women, right? In the looks department, Aussie women will always destroy English women. It is what it is, right? They could have done so much with that, because the English and the Aussies are rivals in sports and everything. But they done nothing. They just made the 2 British chicks look like big brutes compared to the Aussie, good-looking blondes. They're just nothing but beach girls, pretty much, not wrestlers. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't like that.
Totally get it. Nobody likes it. Everyone's upset.
Exactly. It's true.
Not one person is singing the praises of this, I don't think.
But what Josh said in the chat is 100%. That's got to happen, because Harley Cameron would be a perfect fit for the inspiration. Absolutely. I agree with that one, T. Cooper. 100%.
Yeah. Well, there would be certainly some gold interactions with
it. Would be perfect. Them three, it would work 100%.
Well, anyway, kind of moving on to this same line of thinking, we have Hang Person versus, and I just put 3 question marks because I have no idea. And that was even faster somehow than the Iconics getting beat. But he cut a much longer promo than both matches put together, unfortunately. And then MJF answers the promo. And then Aussie Okada attack page.
Aussie Okada. I like it.
Yeah, you see, it's like Aussie Open plus Okada. You get Aussie Okada.
That's good. Very good. They're gonna steal that one off you now, Vic. 100%.
Go ahead. You can have it. I wish they'd steal more from me. It would make the show a lot easier to watch.
Hey, that has happened numerous occasions actually on this very show, which I don't think they're doing what we were talking about. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, so Jet Speed makes the save. And then Don Callis comes out and says that the main event tonight is going to be a trios title match.
Yeah.
Because he's, he books a show.
He does.
Yeah, no notes. Earlier today, Renee Moxley presided over the Bucks and FTR in some sort of a boardroom meeting, I guess they were having to discuss their upcoming match.
No contracts. It was a conference room meeting between the Bucks and FTR, the greatest tag team in the last 10 years.
No physicality. No physicality also was agreed to.
Yeah, no
as
physicality.
Usual.
And they said what they said, and then Dax the Axe, Ved's favorite, said, you know what? We promised no physicality against the Bucks, but we did not promise no physicality against Brandon Cutler, and then sucker punch Brandon. And Brandon Cutler got injured. He's out for like 6 months because of the Dax the Axe.
Mm-hmm. I had that in my notes, but thank you for covering it, so I didn't have to.
No problem.
And then after that riveting piece of business, we get another Jon Moxley Continental Championship Eliminator match. I guess it's an Eliminator. It certainly didn't seem like it was on the line. Versus Hechicero.
Hey, Hechicero was impressive in this match, actually.
Anybody that has to get in a match with Jon Moxley is impressive.
The
bravery, the fortitude. Just having to realize, I'm not going to have a good match every night. Some nights I'm going to have a bad match. And
Hechicero had the home field advantage, guys, because people were chanting. It was like a 70-30. Yeah, it was a 70-30 split.
Yeah, he said El Paso, yes.
El Paso, Mexico. Man, those were Mexicans in that crowd the whole way through, it looked like.
Well, I still, even despite all that, my notes just say, poor Hechicero.
Poor Hechicero, man.
This poor guy has to have a long match with Jon Moxley. He's got to suck because Hechicero can do some stuff. Like he can do some stuff, and Jon Moxley can't. So that's what you're going to see for the majority of the 20-minute time limit that you would get on this match.
Why so long though? It didn't have to go this long. But actually, you know what? I'm not mad because it's Hechicero though.
Right.
At least it looks like he could hang.
More Hechicero is always a good thing, but.
Right.
No, I get you. You love Hechicero, guys. But again, the story, there is story here, even though it's not the right story, but it's to wear down the Continental Champion. So this way, Takeshita is primed and ready for Revolution to take that Continental title away. Even though they don't really explain it right, even though they don't present it right, I'm trying to save this for them. And they're not doing it right because, again, Hechicero has to be a sacrificial lamb for a 20-minute eliminator match, even though, Kevin Willie got a title match. Well, again, I mean, you could have gave Hechicero a chance. We could have had disbelief. We could have been like, anything could happen, but they didn't want to do that.
Now let me reverse engineer your logic, because here we have Takeshita as a de facto babyface inside of a heel faction, and we want to tell a story of we need to wear down the champion. Whereas I feel like in AEW, certain people would be like, how many times have you heard somebody say, I want you at your best? And do you think Takeshita would be dishonorable enough to want a bounty to put on Jon Moxley so that it's an easy title win for him? Do you think is that not incongruent with his?
No, that's the Don Callis logic. And you're right. Takeshita, I've been saying this for months. Takeshita is going to be out of the Don Callis family, and Takeshita doesn't want that. He wants Jon Moxley at 100%. It's Don Callis that's, he wants more gold, he wants all that stuff. So I got that vet. I got that. It's one logic against another logic, but they just don't let it play out. Again, the story that I've been wanting to see really manifest, and it's been kind of like dimmed away, is the Takeshita, Okada, and Fletcher dynamic. They haven't really presented it well. Again, I just have to remember this. No, it's not neuralization. It's just sterilization. There's a difference.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, it means what you thought you saw, you did not see. So, yeah, that is however, Hechicero is also not really like a devious villain, inside of this. Like, he's the guy that was like, remember the peacemaker between Takeshita and Okada in 6-man matches. So like nobody knows what's going on. This is what happens when you have way too many irons in the fire. You just can't possibly keep track of all this in your, riddle-and-addled brain.
Jesus, that's an understatement, Vic.
So he hits the Death Rider DDT eventually on Hechicero. And then as Jon Moxley's leaving through the crowd, Takeshita, this is awkward as hell. Takeshita quietly makes his way down the ramp and into the ring to stand up on the turnbuckle as Jon Moxley's leaving and point at the Revolution sign like it's WrestleMania.
God.
And then somehow Jon Moxley knows to turn around, probably because some mark in the audience is like, hey, Takeshi's pointing. So he's like, and he just looks at him, and then it's just weird. And then Takeshita makes the discount double check motion, and then Jon Moxley just fireman Freds his way on out of there.
He's like,
let's see. Tekla and Rosa are getting ready for their match. Brody King gets a microphone and calls out Swerve, and then he gets Prince Nana instead. And then Prince Nana is like, do you really want to do this, Brody? Do you really want to do this? He's like, yeah, I really want to do this. I'm dangerous. And then he's like, okay. And then they start playing the music, and everybody can, get grooved to Swerve's cool theme music. And then, of course, Swerve's not coming out the entrance. He blindsides Brody King with a chain. And what a dumbass. What a dumbass Brody King is.
Like the biggest
stupid idiot. You got that button, right, Jimmy?
I do. And as a matter of fact, he does deserve that, because you know what you are, Mr. Brody?
Stupid idiot.
That's what you are, you stupid dog.
And then Swerve is the most dangerous man, just gently raining down a chain pile on top, just gently setting the pile of chains on top of him repeatedly. I'm surprised there wasn't a geyser of blood after that.
You know what else I noticed? I think that chain was plastic, dude. The way that sounded did not sound like metal.
Could be. Remember
100%.
Could have been. And then he hangs him, he hangs him as usual, just choking him to death, cutting a promo on him, hanging him at the same time,
It looks like a spit at this point. He's like, I'm talking about Brody King, obviously. But, good.
Bandito finally runs out. But, just as Brody King is about to pass away.
I mean, but to be fair to Bandito, when you're in the bathroom and you're copping a squat and taking a shit, you don't know things are happening, so you got to wipe your ass. You can't go out with a
I'm sure they got speakers in the toilets, toilet area where they could.
That's why he was doing a quick wipe again. Poor Bandito. Yeah, how did he know to go to the bathroom at the same time that Brody King was going to call out Swerve? as a friend, he should have been there by his side. But again, neither here nor there. Again, that's my logistics. I'm sorry, but I just noticed these things.
Hopefully, we get the big dog actually get real pissed off with Bandito. That probably will go down that route.
I mean, if he's but Jimmy, if
the
he's
big dog Roman Reigns.
What? No, not that dog. We're talking about the poor dog in Brody King.
If he's woofing Jimmy, he's gonna be part of the dogs with David Finlay in them soon.
Put all the dogs together for all I can, and then get the dog pound literally to catch them all and fuck them off. All the whole bunch of them. All the dogs.
Remember, Brody's a hound. These guys are dogs. Big difference.
I see.
The hound will lead the dogs, though.
That's right. The hounds of hell.
Please, just go away.
Yeah. I don't miss Buddy at all. I don't miss him at all. I'm so happy he's not back.
What's sad is neither do I.
Well, he's Australian, so of course you don't.
No, look, I didn't hate on. Look, he's pretty boring. He looks like $1 million. He can wrestle, but everything else is he's got nothing.
Funny enough, and this could come up later, but it just reminded me of something. But for some reason, I was inclined to listen to like one of my old shows, like before I joined HMG, and I believe I was talking about Sergio and I were talking about Buddy, and I think I said something like, this was during the storyline during pandemic times when he was like dating Aaliyah Mysterio, or there was that romance angle. And I believe I said something to the effect of, I said, Buddy Matthews has zero charisma. He actually has less than zero charisma. He actually owes people charisma.
He's just a vacuum of charisma, dude. Like, he's that bad. Like, and I feel bad for him, but at least with all his time off, fucking at least practice on. You can't practice charisma, obviously, but get something, do something. Like, I don't know, like.
Yeah, and it's funny too about him is like people talk about him being like jacked and being good in the ring and stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, but when you like people don't when there's people I like or whatever that are jacked or good in the ring that don't get a fair shake, people are just like, oh well, wrestling isn't everything. Like they'd be like, you need to cut a promo in this business to be somebody. It's like, well, then why are you putting over Buddy Matthews for being jacked and good in the ring then? Anyways, whatever.
He's not a good worker for real. He actually sucks. He doesn't know how to work.
He knows how to do the moves that he saw in New Japan. He knows that.
That's it. That's not really working though, right?
So Jimmy, we shouldn't put a poll in the Hameen chat like, will Buddy Matthews get the biggest pop in AEW history when he comes back? Like, yay or nay? Like, vote yes, vote no.
I think there'll be crickets.
I'm just saying. Will it be louder than David Finlay?
Do the poll.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do a poll actually when we finish on the YouTube via Hameen Media Group. Okay. Let's see what happens.
Death Riders do a promo outside somewhere.
You want to talk about charisma vacuum there?
Jesus. Well, even with all that said, compared to Buddy Matthews, this is basically like for the Rocks. And remember, one of them was Marina Shafir. Just want to put that out there.
She was the best one, though. I'll say that.
She is. But Buddy,
short and sweet, baby.
Uh-huh. Oh, what is that?
Buddy's back.
He's back. There you go. That's what's gonna happen.
Thunder Rosa versus Thunder Tekla.
Yeah. Another long match, pretty much.
I'm gonna say something here. I like with a lot of the show, I kind of was only peripherally paying attention to it.
I don't blame
power
you.
of the phone, perhaps, maybe a little bit of exhaustion, perhaps. However, I could feel the match. I absorbed it through my skin and my ears, and I think I liked it because I felt like Tekla doesn't do spots that much. Like a lot of the other girls will run spots, or moonsault to the floor. But I felt like this was kind of like a dirty fight more so than like a fake wrestling match.
That's your style, though. Taker's style is very dirty, man. If you notice,
and I like that better. I think Rosa does better with that too.
Yeah,
I think when Rosa tries to run spots with girls, it ends up being awkward.
Yeah,
so I felt like this was a little more grounded and dirty, and I prefer that. So I think they did a decent job.
Fight, like an actual fight.
I mean,
It's dirty, right? Exactly. Prof, do you agree with that?
Yeah. What do you think?
Sorry, Vic.
No. I agree with that. I like it's the more grounded, more like MMA kind of like shoot fighting kind of stuff that both that Tekla and Thunder Rosa can do in the match. I think that this was a wasted match on free TV. I think you could have paid maybe $50-$60 on this one. Again, I thought that's where the direction was going. But, before all this pomp and circumstance with this match, we saw Chris Statlander transform into another character before our very eyes. I don't know. Like, she started as an alien in 2021, and now she's a refined alien in this by this week. Like, she's in the sunglasses, she's got the Terminator gear and stuff like that. It's like, or no, that's more Neuralizer, Jimmy. She looks like a Men in Black chick right now. I just was waiting for a Neuralizer.
She's an alien, right?
But this was an.
She's like, no, you know what she is? She's one of the aliens from Dude, Where's My Car? Like the ones that are like, we are not dudes, we are hot chicks. Oh, that one.
Oh God.
That works.
Definitely that. She's definitely that. 100%. That's a great call, Vet. That's perfect. 100%.
Well, I mean, we didn't get it at Revolution. We got it here. So, I mean, in a vacuum or a la carte, I guess we just have to enjoy it the best we can.
It was
they clearly think that Statlander's a bigger deal for pay-per-view, I guess. I don't really know, actually.
There's the metrics with that, right? I mean...
But after Tekla wins with a stomp, she gives her an extra stomp, and then
what's up with the curb stomp too? Moxley used it. Now Tekla's using it. What the hell? I never see it twice.
It's a hot move in wrestling right now.
I guess it is.
And top guy storylines everywhere. So, see, I think when Moxley does it, that's like his. He's waving to his friend.
100%.
I get that. Now I don't know what Tekla has no connection to these people, so
none.
Whatever. She must have just done it in Stardom or whatever. But it doesn't matter. The point is
that's sliding into Seth's DMs just in case. That's the way you do it.
Maybe those Irish women aren't doing it for you anymore. Maybe in Austria.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So the Dark Sisters come out too.
They did.
Security comes out.
And then everyone went after that for the match.
All right, let's move on. Ricochet and Jack do a promoniette.
Oh, yes. The promoniette. I love it.
Renee brings out Tommaso Ciampa, and he starts to try to do a promo. Then FTR interrupts that.
They got way back.
Yeah. And they basically want to sort of invite Ciampa to be a part of FTR, I guess, or at least an alliance of some kind or whatever. And being this is going to make sense no, it's not going to make. It's actually going to not make sense in two completely different ways, as we'll see. But not only does this kind of a baby face at the moment guy just slap Axe the Axon
that was
unprovokedly, but then after he's already slapped him, he gets into a shoving match with the partner, and then it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, well, what you saw what he's gonna do. He's gonna see. You saw what he's gonna do. He's gonna slap you. So I don't know why you do the shoving thing first, and then but Axon is willing to turn the other cheek. And they're gonna get out of there, and they're just gonna leave him with his thoughts,
This promo, but before we go to the next segment, this promo, Jimmy, was more for the sickos on Twitter, because before Vet kind of like answers everything about this shit for Collision, the Twitter discourse was funny as shit, because again, this was the analogy of Johnny Gargano. He's coming. He's gonna be all elite. Everybody was like putting all the old tapes of NXT Black and Gold and Takeover stuff.
Wow.
And the 2 out of 3 falls matches. Everything the sickos thought was gonna happen because of this promo. That's what they put on Twitter. It's like, well, we know what's coming. And then Johnny Gargano, what he did on SmackDown, we don't need to talk about that. But again, it is what it is. The analogies was just funny. Go ahead, Vet. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm ready to move on to Tony checking on Orange. And then we get our main event of Ozzy Okada versus Jet Set Rodeo for the AEW Trios Championship.
Yeah.
And, skipping to the end, MJF takes out Hang Person from this match. And we get a Rainmaker into Fat Guy Piledriver combo to Kevin Knight, who already wrestled tonight.
Right.
The weak link of the team. I mean, you could say Paige technically had a match earlier, but that wasn't a match. That was a move. He did a move earlier. So there you go. Your new AEW Trios champions, Ozzy Okada.
That's a great name, Ozzy Okada. They got to use that name. They're going to use it once they hear Vet say it. But yeah, I mean, surprising because, like you said, Davis was the one that finished him off with a pole driver and was the one that pinned Knight.
They had to give him something at this point,
I guess. But what happens to Mr. What's his name? Literally, no name, whatever his name is. That's out of he's injured right now. Mr. Surname. What was his
Doyle.
name?
Jack Doyle.
Yeah.
Jake Doyle.
Yeah, but in TNA, wasn't he like something like that? His name something, I forgot it.
Jake something.
Jake something, that's the one. Yeah.
Literally something.
Literally. Do you think that's I mean, is it bad timing? For him, I don't know when he's coming back, but like now that they've got the trios belts, which I don't even know why, they shouldn't even have him. No one should have him. Just fuck him up. Like really. It's a waste of time, dude.
You could say fuck the Trios Championship. You can also just say fuck Jake something. Who gives a shit about him? He shouldn't have got hurt. Being a dumbass. So whatever. But the main thing is the only reason that this fucking horsecock was a championship team anyways because Will Hobbs was leaving. That's the only reason they even had the belts in. That's and they need to get this belt off of Hangman Page because it's like, what? That guy is with these guys? He hasn't been doing this stuff this dumb since the Dark Order.
Well, I remember that.
Let's not forget, guys, Jimmy. Let's not forget that the Don Callis family has an injured list too. So you just add Jake Doyle plus Brian Cage, part of the Don Callis family injured list. So it is what it is on that.
They're still the biggest faction in the company, even with all those injuries. Still, they got the numbers, man. Come on.
Yeah. And also, I don't know where else I would bring this up, but I also, before we go on to Collision, I also want to, because we're talking about people that, like Kevin Knight re-signing a deal, or, we just had, Jake Doyle sign with this company and get hurt and all this other stuff. That, or maybe you don't, because I certainly only just found out about it. Once again, great job, Dirt Sheets, for doing your jobs and reporting shit. But do you realize that Tahuti Miles, aka Ashanti the Adonis, has been signed by AEW since last year?
Wait a minute. Are you referring to Knight?
No, Ashanti the Adonis.
Wait, he has been signed to AEW for real? I haven't seen him.
That's what was reported.
ROH,
I forget the exact date of last year, but it was like at the end of last year, AEW has signed him. And to my knowledge, he is not injured. He's just not being used.
He's got to be on ROH though, right? I mean, at least you got that platform.
If it was just that he was on ROH and we weren't watching it, it wouldn't have taken that long for them to report that because they have people watching that stuff. They're the ones that have to keep up with Athena's historic title reign and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. So they would have been like, oh, yeah, there's Ashanti the Adonis or whatever, Tahuti Miles. That's his name. So, this kid has been sitting there. And I'm just telling you that I will vouch. I've been vouching for Tahuti Miles ever since, I don't know, Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
Like I said, this kid is really, really good. and really slept on. And no disrespect to Kevin Knight, because they don't exactly do the same things, but there's a lot more money to be made with Tahuti Miles if you do that properly. So
as long as I'm not walking around with a backpack, I'll be happy.
giving a rose to Karate Carmen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's just, I'm just going to put that in everybody's mind that he's been there, not being used by AEW. Okay.
Well,
and then you pair that with the treatment of the inspiration, and
let's just keep it a buck here. Let's keep it fair here. Tahuti Miles hasn't been on TV for months and months, but the discourse from the sickos saying, well, Royce Keys hasn't done anything. Well, Royce Keys has actually fought more than Tahuti Miles in the last year. I'm just saying that. I'm not, again, it's not apples to apples, but I'm just saying.
You think he's forgotten?
Neither one of them been used since January.
I remember him debuting initially the first time. Like he was on TV, like when he first signed around that time. But then I totally forgot about him. Totally. You're
creating a lie, Jimmy. He's never been on TV. You've been neuralized.
He was. I remember him. I particularly remember him wearing all black, but I could be wrong, but I could just picture it.
Show me the tape, or let's
I have to dig for that one, actually, Prof.
Well, we're going to review the Collision tapes now. And we're starting out, and the professor is going to carry this one. It's going to be the Rascals versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships. I mean,
randomly.
At least they deserve it. They deserve it. It was remember, it was an eliminator match that the Rascals got the win, thanks to the Young Bucks distractions and whatnot and all that stuff. So, this was the dream match that Vet's been asking for the last 3 years because of MSK being in NXT and his NXT reviews. So this was a AEW World Tag Team Championship match where, they could have just changed the card for Revolution, or they could have added a triple threat, but they again, neither here nor there. So it is what it is. And of course, I'll keep saying this for FTR with the way they've been booking them. They try to make chicken shit into chicken salad every week. And, that chicken salad still tastes like shit. So it was a good match. It is
entertaining for me.
Yeah, the match was entertaining, but again, what's that move that they try to that the Rascals do that Vet hates, the spinning tornado? Yeah, that thing. They attempted that, just didn't work. They got pushed out of the side. What was it? Cashton did his missile plancha out on the outside and all that stuff. So it is what it is. And at the end, FTR is still the tag team champion. So, nothing to say, but, I'll give it it was 4.5 stars, on the Meltzer.
Out of 5 or out of 10?
No, out of 5.
Ooh.
If it was out of 10, it would have been 9.25. So,
wow.
9.25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also, to revisit me listening to my old shows randomly or whatever, I'm pretty sure I was talking about a match that happened at TLC 2020, maybe. It was I guess it was the Hurt Business versus the New Day in a match. And I was talking about that match and how it was a good match. And I think I used that opportunity to also bury how FTR is not good at tag team wrestling. So I'm nothing if not consistent over the years. I do not change my tune unless, otherwise noted. Attention, everyone, I am changing my tune. I'm known to do that. But I will not quietly just start being hypocritical.
No, you're not a hypocrite, that's for sure.
After FTR retains, Mark Briscoe comes out for commentary for the next match, and
the pals?
Yeah, he kind of shook hands with him a little bit, and dapped him up a bit.
Yeah, dapped him, exactly.
Yeah, I guess,
They
so
gave
that
respect.
happened. Mm-hmm. Also in between that, Anthony Bowens became the ops cameraman.
What the fuck is that? You're the resident ops guy here, right? What's going on here, bro?
Well, I can't put it any more succinctly than what I just said. He took the camera from Shibata and decided to go film them, but they never did anything else on the show, to my knowledge.
Wow.
There was there was a lot of logic gaps, Hami Nice, because Anthony Bones was trying to tell Hook, I can be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow, somewhere that Hook just said, you know what? Grab that camera.
And then choked out a poor jobber or whatever the hell he was.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I thought Hook was gonna say, well, prove to me you can be a killer. Take out this jabroni. That could have been at least a good initiation or a good audition. But all Hook just said was take the camera from Shibata. The funny thing, I got caught out there, Vet. I was like, okay, he's gonna fight Shibata to earn himself to be the cameraman. I thought it was gonna be some physicality.
Yeah, something like that.
The camera, like, it was nothing. Like, okay, go ahead. Like, it made no logic sense. Like, I thought he was trying to be initiated. He was gonna get hazed. I thought Shibata was gonna kick him in the nuts or something like that. He's gotta earn his stripes. No, I just take the camera. Yeah. It felt lazy. It was just a lazy booking, that, as Jim Cornette would say. Like, you could have done so much more with limited time there. That's all I'm just saying.
Yeah, or at the very least, if you did this, there has to be something else after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, let's see what he's going to do with the camera, or what he's gonna what are they gonna do as he follows them, and nothing ever happened. So maybe that's for next week. Maybe that's a hook for next week. See what I did there?
Oh, I see what you did there.
All right. Well, back to the match. It's Daniel Garcia versus Tommaso Ciampa, and this was, if any match could be like that sort of proverbial I'm just resting my eyes moment.
Don't discount that these are two of the greatest TNT champions of all time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables in this
I would
match.
never discount that. I don't have to discount it because it's not even a thing. But the good part about resting your eyes is that I can still hear Mark Briscoe on commentary, so I can enjoy that aspect to it. I don't have to look at what's happening. I can let the announcers do their job. However, the funny part is, in some, convoluted way, Mark Briscoe gets involved and Tommaso gets distracted somewhat, and Garcia beats him with a jackknife pin that he's beaten so many people in so many Collision main events with over the years. Beats him with that jackknife pin.
Right.
Yeah. And there you go. This is Tommaso Ciampa. He's already in the toilet. It's great. And then FTR comes out, right? FTR comes out, and Briscoe and Ciampa sort of have a moment where they're arguing, like, "Hey, man, you just made me lose to fucking Daniel Garcia," and he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, whatever. It's we're good," and he's like, "No, we're not good." So then FTR comes out, and they get in the ring with Ciampa because of what happened, previously on Dynamite. And Mark Briscoe sort of hangs back, and then when he sees this, he assesses the situation. Then he comes back in the ring to back up Ciampa. Okay, so now it's like, okay, FTR, we're not gonna have a fair fight. We're just gonna, you guys can do whatever. We're just kidding. And then, so then, as Ciampa and Mark Briscoe are leaving and they're going back, and it looks like, okay, sorry about earlier, forget the misunderstanding, we're all friends. And then Ciampa does the takeover ending on him. This is exactly what he did to Johnny Gargano, except there is not nearly enough history between these two guys to recreate this moment. Also, you're just blatantly recreating this moment from another company, Well, and we don't know this yet, but this is not even going to fucking matter in a second. So what did you guys think about that when you saw this whole thing play out the way it did? Jimmy?
Is Ciampa really getting the short end of the stick right now by Tony Khan, you think? I mean, what I think, I just couldn't care less what he's doing right now, because clearly Tony and his booking committee, whatever that involves, he's already bought this toy. I mean, even the song, he loves playing the song. You just see that. Now I'm starting to hear a retard singing that for some reason, dudes. I'm hearing like as he comes out. I'm sorry, but that's what was running through my head, for crying out loud. So that's how I look at Jumper.
Well, Jimmy, that's the Pepto Bismol theme song for Tommaso Ciampa. So number one on that. But I did close my eyes a bit on this match, and I thought accidentally I turned it on to the WWE Network, and I thought I was watching NXT Takeover Chicago, where that happened. So again, like we said a couple of minutes ago, is this the Easter eggs to bring Johnny Gargano into the fold? That's all I'm just saying. Again, I'm not trying. Again, this is overbooking in my part. I'm getting this because, again, Johnny Gargano is still under contract with WWE. But again, if he's on his last month or last 2 months, and the sickos just love to do all this bullshit, they are going to be like, oh, this is for Johnny Gargano to come into the fold. But there's really no reason. There's no reason for it because Psycho Killer became Psycho Killer. He turned into the heel. He doesn't even need Johnny Gargano because
it's not just that. If you guys remember, wasn't it just a year ago where he was out of contract and he took us some time off for quite a while, and then he re-signed with WWE? That was only last year.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's got a couple more years left on his contract at the very least.
Absolutely, Jimmy. I agree with you. I'm just saying, but you know how the sickos will be with this bullshit.
Right. Well, there's
for a reason. A lot of analogies and a lot of double entendres that Tony Khan actually feed. That's the only thing I give Tony Khan just credit for. He feeds the sickos more nourishment for all that discourse on Twitter, all that stuff. But for the segment, it was so awkward. From the Dynamite promo to that non-contact bullshit there to this. The problem, Jimmy, I'll say this: when Tommaso Ciampa came in, he won the TNT title so quickly. Yeah, he could have branded. He should have had those standby matches. He should have had those squash matches against all that stuff, so he can build up the Psycho Killer, persona that he can be. Because I was like, I don't want him to be a good guy. I don't want him to be a face and all that stuff. When he had the TNT title, Goldie, whatever he called the title.
Sylvie. It was Sylvie.
Yeah. Do all the little nuances that he could be as the Psycho Killer. Just keep it going. Now you're gonna retread against Mark Briscoe. Now we're gonna get a best of 7 series. I see it. Best of 7 against Tommaso against Mark Briscoe. From Revolution to the Continental Classic, it's gonna be Mark Briscoe against Tommaso Ciampa for the whole year, and it's gonna be Meltzer's underrated rivalry of the year.
And then they're gonna reignite the rivalry when they end up on the Continental Classic, same block, and then they have to. These guys just had a brutal best of 7, and now we're gonna have an 8. Like,
yeah. Well, you know what happened to me if they do that? That's what happened. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, guys, this is it's not good. It's not good. But
no contact.
It's almost
Jimmy.
like
no contact, Jimmy. Remember,
right.
It's almost like like what we talked about earlier. Maybe hot shotting isn't the best. Maybe old territory thinking doesn't apply to modern product. Maybe you can't hot shot something that we already have way too many hours per week of and are sick of.
All right, man. That's so
I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you what I'm not sick of is Gravity's entrance. And we were robbed of that because he just was one of those guys in the ring, like, like come back from the break, and here's Gravity. We didn't get to see. We barely got to see a moonwalk. If he didn't do it in this match, we wouldn't have seen it at all.
So what's funnier too? That was hyping him up that he's Bandito's brother the whole time, and then we get this.
Right, which sounds just sad, like you're trying to remind us like he's not good enough. Well, you could have just gave us the entrance and we wouldn't have cared whose brother he was because he does the cool, slow moonwalk. But instead, he's just the, Mike Jackson in the ring with his hand up for Swerve Strickland to come out, which I get that Swerve Strickland has a cool entrance, but you could have had 2 cool entrances, right?
Right, fuck yeah.
So,
I dare say it's cooler than Swerve's entrance.
Oh, definitely. I mean, really, when you look at it,
All Swerve does is come out like he's almost like I don't want to.
Can you imagine? Wait, can you imagine if Gravity had Prince Nana as a manager? And see, then when they play the music, Prince Nana could do the slow swerve. You know, the very slow. Come on. Come on.
Oh man.
I was about to reboot my thing. I thought something wrong with my network connection right now. It was so slow.
It was so slow that it was, but you know what they say? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Hey.
But anyway, yeah, this match was fast because it's gravity. So Swerve just kicked the shit out of him in a couple minutes, and then we moved on. No post-match promo or anything, I don't think. Right?
No, he's too cool for school. Didn't want to talk.
Just to let you know, just to let Bandito know, you know, fuck your little brother. Now this next part was after Dynamite, and it's Chris Statlander. Not the dude. She's a hot chick. And she only speaks when she needs to, and now she needs to. So basically, she says that we're at 1-1 with her and Tekla. So now we need to have a 2 out of 3 falls match at Revolution.
Oh.
And then yeah, so that was so that was last week after Dynamite. And you know, this week live, Tekla comes out saying no in many different languages.
Yeah, that was off.
Yeah, she basically said no. She's like no. You know what? Yes. It's basically how it went. That's basically how the thing played out. I'm just shortening it down, condensing it down.
Now, Ben, I need to ask you this question.
Okay.
As a man who's been in the business, been in the, you know, OVW, all that stuff, grizzled vet that you are. Tekla's promo, Tekla's promo from going no to oh yeah, you know, why not? Like, I'm sorry. Like, again, we know what the WWE, like the old Vince McMahon logic was, you know, line by line and all that stuff. And remember, the old Dusty booking is bullet points, as long as you get the bullet points out. But did anybody tell Tekla to really like go from the no to this? Because it didn't make sense to me.
No.
To say no meant that she was a cowardly heel champion, which she's not. She'll kick your ass. She does the curb stomp and shit like that. She doesn't need to say no. She doesn't need to be like that. Like, I guess the MJF kind of heel champion. Like, he dictates what it is. If she wants it, which becomes a 2 out of 3 fall match, so be it. But I'm just saying that, like, in the meetings, in those creative bookings like that, should someone remind Tekla, like, even in bullet points, like, watch what you say, because you're kind of like condescending your own self in the image that you're trying to present to the masses, if you will.
I mean, I see what you're saying, and my only real counterpoint is not even like really a counterpoint. It's just more of a context thing. Like, that would be item number 473 on the list of things we need to fix in AEW before we really start worrying about it.
You just made the list.
Yeah, there it is. Very bottom of the list. We'll get to that later, you know, after we fix literally everything. But yeah, I mean, look, she basically just had to go out there and eat up time on TV, it seemed like. And I don't think she had a script nor bullet points. I think she just went out there, and that's what it sounded like. And so what she ended up doing, which, as I've always said, a heel is never wrong. So, like, if you go out there and contradict yourself, that just gets you more heat, whether you meant to do it or not. Like, if you make mistakes, if she slipped and fell on her face in her entrance, it doesn't matter because she has heat, you know, because they're all going to laugh at her. Like, the toxic spider fell. You know, like whatever the children in the front row would say. I don't know. But the point is, you can do no wrong as a heel if you're good enough. So if you go out there and ramble, and then it makes it sound like Tekla basically sounded like the way I took it was she sort of talked herself into it. Like, she came out saying no, and then she was like, as she was saying no, she thought about it and was like, as a matter of fact, though, now that I think about it, if I have the chance to beat your ass twice in one night, just to prove that you ain't shit, then I guess that's not that bad of an idea. I guess I just hadn't considered it deeply enough until I came out here and started talking out loud in front of a crowd. You know, you could look at it that way. Technically, as maybe I'm remembering wrong, she still didn't even confirm it, like she was going to do it. But
I think Tony confirmed.
Yeah,
it. So it didn't matter.
Tony could make the decision. You know, that's the ultimate thing. Which, again, that's even more heat. Like, you come out. Basically, what you do is this is classic. It's timeless. Not timeless Tony Storm. Timeless wrestling. Anybody can follow along with this. No, I'm not going to do your stipulation. Why do you get to pick a stipulation? I'm the champ. You don't make the rules. You know, that's basically, to this point, that's what she said. Then she could just finish by saying, as nice as it would be to beat your ass twice in a row because you can't touch me, then I'm still not going to do it because I don't get paid by the hour and yada, yada, yada. Then Tony Khan says, you know what? I don't care what you say. I make the matches and you're doing it. And then she gets to be indignant. She gets to be mad. She gets to be like, fine. I'll do it. I'll show you all, you know, and whatever. It's just,
I would take that logic. I would take that logic right there. That's all I'm saying.
That's all you need. But whatever you do, you know, the main thing as a heel is you're not wrong. Now, when you have, a $200,000 four-way tag team extravaganza, guys, you can't go wrong either, because we got LFI, we got the Swirl, we got Private Party, we got the Outrunners, which
finally
in the Outrunners heyday, you know, with inflation taken into account, this would be like the Outrunners. For them, this is going to be winning like $626,000, you know, in the 1984 rates of inflation. So they really could use this money. Dalton Castle's on commentary. A bunch of stuff happens. Private Party wins with the Steiner Bulldog of all finishers. I don't know when that was ever there. Maybe I just haven't seen him in so long, I forgot. But
I have used it before. I remember him doing it before.
Well, I also think that the gin and juice was the finisher.
That's true too. That's true too. But
yeah, but no, they went Steiner Bulldog, and $200,000 richer.
So we have a tag team title division. And we have a money division. We have a $200K money division for the tag team division, because these four tag teams will never sniff a tag team title shot in AEW Dynamite or Collision. Maybe ROH, but they're not even up in the echelon. So now you have to create another gimmick. 200,000, whatever. Well, paper. You know, Tony Khan's picture is on the $20 bill, but you know, again, neither in the day.
What's in your duffel bag? Is it something useless like a title belt, or is it $200K?
Yeah.
Lexi's with jet speed, and Swerve tells, you know, Kevin Knight, hey, try being a killer.
Oh.
So earlier in the day, Cross and Bane beat up the Babes of Wrath.
Yeah,
take that, tag team champs. And then we get a match here we get Megan and the Colossus. They're calling her the Colossus. So is this Mega Colossus now? Versus the Love Bombs. And, you know, I have one small note. They went for a Tower of Doom spot, and Lena Cross decided to go ahead and go through with the power bomb rather than just help her partner off the top rope from getting superplexed. She was like, fuck it. So a little bit of inexperience on her part, you know, like just not used to this whole tag team thing. You're not supposed to damage your partner on purpose. But anyways, the one time ever in the history of AEW that a referee tried to enforce the rules and say, hey, you can't be in this ring right now, and put somebody out of the ring, Marina came and took Tony and dragged her under the ring with the titty suck. And, you know, they were never to be seen again. And then Mina got jackhammered. Not the way you're thinking. She did the jackhammer, the actual move by, you know, Lena Cross did the jackhammer, the Goldberg jackhammer. So 1, 2, 3. There you go.
And
after this match, this was available on Pornhub. So just with Jimmy. You want to go back to
where the jackhammer tag has a different meaning altogether.
Oh God!
Mega Colossus does the jackhammer to Mina on Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Josh said it's a Vince McMahon reference right there.
I bet.
The genetic jackhammer.
You know how all young women wrestlers in the business love to reference Vince McMahon.
Oh, they love it. They absolutely love referencing, especially the jackhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
All right. Mark Briscoe cuts a promo. He says he's just got off the phone with a couple of guys that may want to take on, these other guys, FTR and Ciampa. So say hello to Dem Bucks, the reunion.
For sure, it'd be the Bucks, 100%. Yeah,
I know. Oh, speaking of other trios matches you don't want to see, the Dogs versus these guys.
Marty Snows ×3.
Who are these guys?
I don't know. They did not get a graphic. They did not get a lower third. They barely got their names said by the announce team at all. Jeez, and it didn't last long enough to matter.
But Finley did get his music from New Japan, so everything transfers over. It's part of the deal, I guess, from New Japan.
Which, just like everything else about him, sucks. It's just not, that's not even one of the. New Japan has some good theme songs, and this ain't one.
Sure,
same one. Tony Storm challenges Marina to come alone. Also, not a Pornhub reference. Just saying, nobody on either side. It's just one-on-one at Revolution. That's what we want. No interference. It's a Continental Classic match.
It's just a good old one-on-one.
Yeah. Tony's wants a women's Continental Classic. One night only, I guess, here. So we're going to get that. Big news, guys. I'm glad nobody mentioned it earlier, but this was all the rage on social media, or at least for one or two tweets that I saw. But Persephone has become the new CMLL Women's Champion by defeating Mercedes Moné.
I saw that in the news, and I wasn't sure if I should reference it or not. And I thought, you know what? I'll leave it out, but there you go.
Nobody misses Mercedes, so that's why it's not really big news.
I forgot about it too, Prof. No shit.
Proves my point. Again, with AEW, the absence of the mind just makes you not even important. And when Mercedes comes, of course, Mercedes will come back in a couple of weeks. And will she be the one to take down Tekla? I don't care. But it looks like that's the only, the avenue for Mercedes Moné, but that's not even a good avenue for her to go, because she's been a heel all this time. She's been the boss bitch. She's been the CEO and all that stuff. So the only other option I would say to use Mercedes in the right context, maybe go after the ROH belt and Athena. Maybe that could be Athena's greatest challenge. And you could bring Athena to Dynamite or Collision and have this match where it can have a proper, platform in front of 600,000 people. That's the only avenue I would have Mercedes there. Other than that, then she has nothing. What, go after Willow again for the TBS championship? That's it. There's no other avenues, really.
I think that train has sailed, my friend. I think it's better that you just keep these two apart for the rest of their careers before it gets even worse, because you almost had something. You almost had something with these guys when they, were teaming up as a tag team reluctantly, and somehow Athena was the, the leader, and that was going to be funny and interesting, and it was going to add depth to their characters and everything, and then we got nothing. So I think rather than keep touching that old wound, I think we should just let it go. Forget it ever happened, and never have these two cross paths ever again.
But I like to pick my wounds, Ed. I mean, I like to scratch.
That's not good, Prof.
You got plenty of other things to choose from when it comes to this company. You don't have to go for this one. You should be covered in wounds at this point. You should look like, Swerve Strickland's back or John Moxley or whatever. But anyways, your main event is Claudio Castagnoli versus Konosuke Takeshita, and I guess it's not for the CMLL Heavyweight Championship. I don't know why I thought it was, but it isn't. Moxley's on commentary. Obviously, there's going to be some shenanigans involved here. Hechicero's going to come out to counter those shenanigans. It's not going to work. But maybe it does work because eventually Takeshita hits the Raging Fire and beats Claudio. And then we get a schmaz, and then we're off the air with a classic Tony Schiavone, we got to go, good night, fresh out of the Monday Night Wars. So there it is, guys.
All I'm going to say, Vet, is for Takeshita to be the man of honor, the man of dignity, he should have just been like, you know what, Claudio? I want a Continental Rules match, even though just to keep the purity, Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. It's so dumb. I'm just saying for Takeshita to one-up Moxley for all his Eliminator matches, all those Eliminator Continental matches, Takeshita should just be like, I'm brazen, I'm braggadocious. Claudio, one-on-one, Continental Rules, 20 minutes. It's not for the CMLL title, but at least just to prove that he can beat him. And he could have had a nice, strong win to get to that Revolution.
Real strong win.
I'm just saying, maybe Vet, I guess I'm overthinking it, but I'm just saying, like, just to prove the one-upmanship to Moxley, what he's doing, you can be like, I could do a Continental match, rules match, and beat Claudio, one of his best soldiers at arms, ball-headed nonetheless, but again, a soldier at arms nonetheless, beat him one-on-one, beat him fair, beat him cleanly. You could still do the schmaz after the fact, but I'm just saying, prove a point.
Yeah.
Great analysis.
I'm with it.
Great
I'm
analysis.
with it. Well, guys, that's a wrap on AEW content for the week. So,
how'd you guys feel before we do go anyway? Like, did you guys feel it was an improvement from last week? I felt like we went down the mountain this time at a rapid pace.
Well, what do you think, Professor, as I recheck my notes and make sure everything did indeed suck?
I'm just saying there's just a lot of logic gaps, and I guess, for all the sickos that keep saying on Twitter every week that, especially the biggest sicko, Meltzer, saying that AEW is on the come up, AEW has been, cooking on all cylinders. I'm like, that's just too much logic gaps. And Tony Khan's just going week to week. Not even, he's trying to have a story here and there, but he's nitpicking on that, but he's really just writing from Dynamite to Collision, from Collision to another Dynamite. And then, by the way, we just have these matches at Revolution and all that stuff. So, again, we'll get to that point at Revolution where there will be some payoffs, but I just don't feel like it's a proper story that's just going on. It's just logic gaps, and he's just going match by match. We just even said it, like, Persephone beat Mercedes Moné. So 9 belts, Monet. Maybe I don't know how many belts she's got left. Maybe she got 7 belts. But you could go on Dynamite television and talk about she's losing match after match, belt after belt, and have those AEW kind of promo vignettes saying how disheveled Mercedes is. I'm just using that as an example. It's just
they've already dropped the ball on that big time, bro. It's sad. It's very sad that they haven't done that at all. At all. They don't care.
Yeah, just too much logic gaps. So, matches are, the work rate for the mark cards, they're happy. But again, with logic gaps, it just makes it hard to enjoy it.
Well, according to the sickos, this is the strongest AEW's ever looked in their history, bro. No shit. That's what they go around saying, Vet. Crazy.
It's funny, too, because we see how many squash matches did we see on this week's
quite a few
shows? Normally the complaint used to be from the non-sickos is like, well, why does every match have to be 15 minutes? And now you're getting matches that are like 2 seconds. And I guess it's the strongest it's ever been. So what does that mean? Does that mean the old school way is right? Like, if the sickos think it's better now, then obviously doing more old school stuff is making the show better, right? Absolutely. So even... Professor, if this shit is misguided in the way it's being implemented, but maybe it's better to just take a hodgepodge of stuff that used to work and try to make it work piecemeal than it is to just do nothing.
It's funny you say that because the Adam Page squash match against whoever that guy was worked for me because of what happened after the fact with MJF and all that shit and the promo, even that was longer than the squash match. That's a great point right there. That's old school. Yeah, do a nice squash match, do a little promo to build up for Revolution. That works for me. Just the other logic gaps just doesn't make. Kevin Knight just getting a titles match He should have got an eliminator match. I'm sorry, I'm still nitpicking on that one, but shouldn't have been for the title.
Well, I don't know, man. To me, I did go back and check, and apparently I did enjoy the Thunder Rosa and Tekla match, kind of. Even though I didn't really watch it. I only half-ass watched it, but I still kind of enjoyed it.
And you felt it.
Man, yeah, I felt it. Maybe if I actually saw it with my eyeballs, it would have been even better. But as it is, just have to take the osmosis approach. So yeah. All right. Well, I mean, whatever. Let's take it home, Jimmy.
Let's take it to the casa. Yeah. Well, before obviously we do take it home, if you guys want to promote your stuff, feel free. As a matter of fact, I'll go to you first, Prof. What's going on in the land of the Pro Wrestling Reflection?
In 1992, we did the sequel because again we started with 87, the peak of popularity. So I deem 92 as the transitional phase of pro wrestling and the losing of popularity, if you will, of crossover, mainstream, and all that stuff. So me and Tommy Wonder talked about that. So subscribe to the YouTube channel at Pro Wrestling Reflection. Follow me on my Twitter at PW, also PROF, and of course, and then before Ray goes on vacation, we're going to drop one more episode. We'll do a Greatest Rivalries edition for all the Reflection Nights. We're going to talk about an untapped potential rivalry between the Brainbusters and the Rockers from 88 and 89. So we'll drop that next week before Ray goes on vacation.
That's a pretty good episode, man. Hopefully you do the Australian one soon too, Prof. How did that go for you? Like researching?
Oh, I'm still researching. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Does Tommy have to research too, by the way?
No, I do all the researching.
Tommy.
He's just a talent. He's just a talent. I give him notes.
Oh,
yeah,
God damn.
Familiar.
Hey, hold on. The reason why I didn't take, actually, I did take notes today, as a matter of fact, but I left my little book over there for whatever reason. But if I was doing the main hosting, then I would have taken the notes when it comes to AEW. So thank you, Vet. I mean, it's always a holiday when I'm doing shit with you, bro, for the most part.
Oh no, I wasn't. That wasn't a shot at you. I was just saying, like, that's kind of my approach. I come in and I'm just like, hey, whatever you guys want to do, I'm just gonna sit here, But
you have to work over here, though.
Now it's funny. It's funny though, 1992 that year, because that was part of my. Every wrestling fan has that period where they just sort of dip for a little while.
Right.
Some people never come back. Some people come right back. Some people take a few years. And 1992 was a blind spot. But I remember when I was an adolescent of some age, 14, 15, I can't remember.
Good old
and I got the chicken pox bad.
Oh, me too. I got them at 16, dude.
Yeah, it sucks, right? So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there at home. But what did my local video store have? But like every WWF pay-per-view on VHS from 1992. So I rented during that time. I rented the Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania 8, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam, and everything like that, and watched that. And so I had missed all that, being a lapsed fan, and watching it, I was just like, some of this shit is kind of cartoony, but like if you compare it to now, the presentation is still much more serious. It's like you could have like the craziest gimmicks like Doink or whatever, but they seem like deadly serious back then.
Yeah.
Like way more serious. And now you got stuff that's supposedly serious like the Bloodline, and it just is like with the MFTs running around, it's kind of stupid. But like the 1992 has some underrated stuff, even the cartoony stuff. So
absolutely, man, 100%. I watched all the papers in 92. I'm surprised you were lapsed at that age, actually, because usually you don't
start
get
a little before that,
a
little before that, and then
Jimmy,
kick back in 95 full time.
Yeah, Jimmy, like I said, like that was the reason I picked 92, because again, I was getting older. I was 15 years old myself, so it was like it was kind of like a debate between me and TW. It was like, was watching wrestling not fun anymore? Was it becoming a chore? Was it becoming a habit, a routine habit that you couldn't enjoy anymore? So, it's an interesting discussion. So hopefully we get new reflectionites out of this.
That's actually a great discussion. You guys got me thinking, but I'm interested to about you guys sort of being lapsed and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to that episode, as a matter of fact, Prof. So yeah, can't wait for that. Vet, what's going on with you, man? Are you jumping on the Twitch?
Yeah, same stuff as always. At Opinion Haver everywhere. You can check me out on HMG. The shows. You can check out Wrestling with Rogers, Stevie Richards Show, and Timmy Baltimore. I've been checking up on all those guys recently, personally, and they're all doing okay. So, happy to keep promoting their stuff and reminding you guys to check them out too.
Absolutely, man. I know I do. I haven't reached out to those boys in a while though, but for whatever reason, Timmy Baltimore's graphic is being taken down. Someone took it off, wherever it is.
How dare?
How dare they? Right. But as far as I go check out our debut episode in this week in WWE, where we had on our very first episode WWE legendary referee Jimmy Calderas joining us, and Vet, I saw on your show with Big Ray Hernandez at the Next Level, you guys were talking about the 3 count. Well, that's his book. That's called the 3 count.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Right.
Someone in the chat said he had a podcast called the 3 count, and I was like, I don't think that's true.
Riffing It Up is his podcast, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm pretty sure I said that too.
Oh, you did say that. You said something along those like reference. It was similar, but not exactly that.
Reffing ain't
easy. It was funny, but when you were saying it, but I can't remember exactly the wording. But it was ref something. But yeah, it's called Riffing It Up. He does his show every Tuesdays as well. Right after we finish ours, he pretty much goes live with his. So yeah, check that out if anyone hasn't. But me and RBV actually had a great interview with him. He stayed with us for about 45 minutes, close to an hour, and we spoke about all sorts of things. So go check that out. Of course, the Wreckage next week, obviously, right here live on Humming Media Group's YouTube channel. And of course, go and check out me and Whoop Whoop Brandon talking all things lunacy, but with our show Insanity. I feel like I'm always under pressure though, man. Jeff Lane is always there, always critiquing what we say. And now El Juggalo, if you're listening, boy, did he drop the ball. He absolutely spoiled the future taping. While Jeff Lane is on there too, which is classic. Everyone was booing him out of the building. I'm not going to mention it, but if you want to see it, go check out Insanity. Right at the end, he had to just blow it up completely. I know some of you guys that are in the chat over here were also listening to that show, and everyone's just booing him. They're like, oh, boo, get him out of here, blah, blah, blah. But it was pretty funny, but bad at the same time. So check that out. But if you want to follow me, you can at the PWC Network. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. He is my co-host, the best in the world, Jamie the Vet Williams, and he is our co-host, the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz, and you've been listening and watching the
Wreckage.
Boy.
Live right here on the Media Group's YouTube channel. And after the fact, at patreon.com/Media Group, like and subscribe here and there. It'll be very much appreciated. Till next time, peace out, much love, and we'll see you soon. See yous.